Hello, Mr. Bad Mini Painter. And this week, my country has been hit by several blizzards, which gave me plenty of time inside. So why not paint up 20 Hearthkyn Warriors for the League of Votann? It's kind of what's it called, a pile of shame for me. I have so many of these models lying around, so now it's time to finally get to them. I'm still missing about 1,000 points. Anywho, so what I do for my army anyway is I start off with the Sons of Horus, and I do that for all the fabric on the warriors. It's kind of my base color, and it's stolen from the box art, so it's really nothing special. And it's a base paint that goes on fairly thin, so 2 coats most places are a really good idea. When I have applied those 2 coats, it's time for shading, and I use Coelia green shade for this. It darkens it down quite a bit. So what I do afterwards is I go back and I clean up a little bit with the Sons of Horus again. I'm not going to show it here, but it's basically the raised areas that has gotten too dark. I brighten them up a little bit. Morphang brown for the leather, and that includes the holster for the sidearm and all the old little bags and all the other good stuff that you will find around on these little models. And I must say that I definitely do like these models, but it's a lot of details crammed into a pretty tight spot. Next off, it's Ulthuan Grey. Jesus Christ, why can't it just call it off-white? Anyway, it's that color. And I give that as a base color for the white armor. I'm not super careful with covering everything because my primer was white, but I try to make sure that all the crevices gets a layer of this. Next I go to Corvus Black, which is this kind of grayish black, and I use that for all the patches, or the knee guard and elbow guard, as well as the boots and the gun handle sticking out of the holster that all of these models have for some reason. Probably a good reason, I don't know. It seems like they just went, how much detail can we actually cram into this? And then they just went ham. And it's a Citadel paint that I actually like quite a bit. It has good coverage without splotching everything up and hiding all the details. It's not that thick. Abaddon black, and that is just for the weapons. The gloves I gave Corvus black. Basically so they wouldn't... if I gave them all the same color, it would be hard to see the gloves, right? So to add a little bit of detail to it. Abaddon black is pretty shiny, and that's cool if you want a metally look of your gun, but I wanted a more matte metal kind of look. So I decided to try to dry brush it with a Cancer blue. And for some reason I keep doing this. I keep telling myself to be aware of where my hand is compared to the camera, and I keep blocking everything with my hand so you can't actually see the paint go on, but I promise you the paint went on. It's just you can't see it. It's a bad painting tutorial if you can't see the paint go on. I don't know what's wrong with me. I do apologize. It's normally is a little better. This I hit a rough patch. Next, lead belcher. Metal parts on the gun, because else it's just a black gun. It's boring, right? So to add a little bit of detail, I also, all the closed helmets, I give them lead belcher as well, because I like how that looks. And of course the pipes and other details like the ammo case, the buttons on the gun holster, I give that one a little dot as well. It's generally just to break up the white and white and brown and brown and black scheme that I would have going on if I didn't do this. So yes, a little bit of that. Bright browns, just to add a little bit more, like another metallic color to it. I could have done this with lead belcher as well, but again, variation and interest to the eyes is really what's important when doing models like this. And when painting up 20 of them, there's really not much point in putting in a lot of effort into each one of them. They're going to be on the battlefield for a short time anyway, especially the way I play them. Gunfather. Oh yeah, and a little detail on the guns, where I kind of found it fitting. Shading for all the leather, Agrax Earthshade. It darkens it down quite a bit, even if you're careful about how much you put on it. It still has a tendency to really darken things down, and that's honestly why I'm slowly moving away from Citadel, because it darkens everything down. It doesn't just stick to the crevices, even if you. It's not like you can add just a little bit and then get the effect you want, unless you put it directly into the crevices. You won't get the shading effect that is desirable without matting everything else down. So black wash from the army painter is a prime example of how a wash should be. So I put it on, and as soon as it's there, it runs into all the little details and highlights them. That's how a wash should be. See? It's not that difficult. I decided to highlight all the guns with the rush gray, and I do it where I think like, okay, here light would hit. So it's an edge highlighting, smearing in this case. Don't worry, I wiped it off with my thumb. But an edge highlighting towards the sunny side, or where I have decided that light will hit this model. And again, it's a low effort thing that does a big difference, for me anyway. Next, it's a white star from Two Thin Coats. Alternatively, you can use white scar from Citadel, but this one is not as chalky, dry, crunchy as white scar is after you open the pot for 30 seconds. And what I do is I add it to all the raised areas on the white armor, because I still want that Ulthuan, Jesus Christ, that one to shine through, but I want the raised areas to be a more clean white or bright white. So it's kind of, it's the third layer of white on the armor, but it does a difference. Next, I go in with Stormhost Silver to highlight the metal, especially the top part of the visor of the helmets. Get some much needed highlighting. We decide to focus on my finger and not on the model. It's brilliant. I'm a good YouTuber. It's well done. Yes. And that was actually the best footage I could find of me doing this. All the other footage, I just cover everything up. So yeah, there's that. But I'm a nice guy, so. Next, Gulliman Flesh for the faces. Again, covered up by my hand, but it is a contrast. It works well. And this is the contrast Bad Moon Yellow for all the light. You can't see that. Now you can see it. For the swords, I decided to give it a layer of Demon Red from Two Thin Coats. Alternatively, you could use Mephiston Red. And then Fire Giant Orange from the Army Painter. Is that true? I'm pretty sure that's Two Thin Coats as well. Anywho, that. And I'm thinking you can use, doesn't matter what you can use, I use that one, Scrag Brown, for highlighting the leather. And you can see how much the Agrax Earthshade has darkened everything down. So a bit of highlighting goes a long way. And I had a little bit too much paint on my brush for that one. The other models actually went along a little bit better. To highlight the fabric of the uniform, I decided to go with the Gauss Blaster Green. I've done that for other League of Votann models in my army, and it has a nice effect. It's pretty bright when it goes on, but it quickly dulls down. Lastly, the hair. I decided to make my guys either blonde or ginger or redheaded, and I used Blood Angels and contrast colors from Citadel. And this is the final job. And again, if I was only doing one model, I would have spent a little time on doing all the rivets and maybe be a little bit more thorough with my highlighting. I would have highlighted some of the corvus black with some dark gray and all that good stuff. But since I was painting 20 models, I decided this is good enough. It looks fine. It's okay. It's not... Well, it's not brilliant, is it? But it's not shit either. This is fine. You can put that on the battlefield. Also, some shading for the armor would have been good. Some gray shading. Can you imagine that? Yeah. Imagine if I was competent. Oh, that would have been good. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave it a like. If you like videos of guys that don't really know what they're doing and ramble a lot, please do subscribe. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable, and I will see you soon for another upload. Bye.